I want to acknowledge the council members who are here in attendance this morning. We have our Vice Mayor Todd Tandy, Councilmember Roland Winters, Councilmember Patrick Duffy, Councilmember Skip Hall. Also in attendance, we have our City Manager, Bob Wingenroth. And we do have members of our CRS Advisory Commission here, our Chair, Wayne Turner, our Vice Chair, Ron Jensen, and our members, David Sanders, Monique Hernandez, and Charlie Woodland. At this time, I would like to invite Vice Mayor Todd Tandy to the mic for a formal welcome.
Thank you, Donna. What a great day for a great event. Want to give a warm welcome to the Dick McComb family and everybody they've invited to be here for this great event. And what a great, beautiful park too. A great way to honor a great man who was our longest tenured city manager. I give you a little update. I'm going to let Councilman Winters do most of the talking though, because this is his district. We're getting close to doing even more improvements in this park. Some shade structures are just about here. And there's going to be some more shade structures in the dog park down on the other side. Should be here real soon. So with that, I'd like to bring Councilman Winters up to go ahead and tell you about what a great man we are here to honor today.
Well, thanks very much. I have to, before I get started, I like to recognize a few folks in the audience. We have some distinguished guests. Matty Brennan, he's over hiding somewhere. You can tell Mike, he's got the suit on. He always has the suit on. And our former city council member, Debbie Johnson, sitting down over there. Of course, first and foremost, our current city manager, Bob Riggenroth, took the time to be here today. I appreciate that. I want to acknowledge Ken Remley. He came in late, so he didn't get introduced. But thank you, Council, for the support on this project. It was many months ago when this thing first started. And I really want to thank my council, my fellow colleagues on the council for really supporting me on this project. I remember the night we had to vote, not one council member voted no. It was unanimous to do this today, this dedication. And this just goes to the core of what Dick McComb was all about. I know some of you probably don't even remember Dick McComb, but he was one of our great city managers. I think just about every department in the city of Surprise has something to do with this project. And I think they really deserve some recognition. So bear with me. I want to really thank Donna Miller and Paul Freed and their group for their support. They're the team from the Community Recreation Services Department. They did a lot of work here. Mike Jen, Public Works, and his team. John McFarland, James Bronson, Carl Hansen and his team. They did a lot of the signs they put up throughout the park. I even see that Public Works is on the stick. I already have a sign on Bell Road saying Dick McComb Park, pointing the way. So Mike Jen, his crew was right on the stick about a week ago maybe. And Joey Brazil, there's a lot of work around all our parks. Does a great job, very hard worker. And I also want to thank our communication department, Diane Arthur and her team. But overall, the people in Surprise, it's pretty amazing. A lot of the public really don't know what great people we have working in the city of Surprise. Every one of them. So this is all about Dick McComb. Those of us that was privileged to know him We know how much work he did for the city of Surprise. He loved this city. Dick McComb was a loving husband, father, grandfather, great-grandfather, and a friend. He was also our longest-serving city manager, which is why we're here all today to honor him. He started his government career in 1976, actually. From 1990 to 2000, he led this city during a decade of tremendous growth. It was just unbelievable how much was done when Dick McCain was our city manager. Sherry Aguilar, our city clerk, probably knew Dick McComb the best, and he said he was a hard taskmaster, which is a good thing. He came in as city manager, and we were a sleepy town of 7,000. He shook the city of Surprise by its shoulders, said, "Wake up, we're gonna do some stuff," and they sure did. From 1990, he led during a decade of tremendous growth for the city of Surprise. Our population swelled from 7,000 to 31,000 residents. Almost as good as now. We're growing like crazy. So during this time, the Surprise Town Center was built. Target store opened. Things were really starting to groove in the city of Surprise under Dick McComb. This is the time we were building our commercial areas, Bell and Grand, big intersection. And under Dick McComb's watch, the Surprise Marshal's Office evolved to the Surprise Police Department. So it's pretty amazing. Thanks to his leadership, today we enjoy a safe community, and we honor his legacy in continuing efforts to attract new jobs and retail to the city of Surprise. Dick McComb loved his city and his country. He was a Korean War veteran, having served in the United States Marine Corps. And ultimately, his commitment to public service that kept him engaged with city government even after he stepped down as city manager. He went on to be the community manager of Sun Village, which one of our council members lives in, and he can attest to what a hard-working guy he was even at that job. I am thrilled that we're able to honor someone who had such a positive impact on our city. Dick died last year at the age of 81. He had a full life. He accomplished a lot of things, and it may surprise some of you folks to know he was even the rodeo circuit. He was a pretty well. Please join me in celebration as we officially name this park the Dick McComb City Park. On that night at the city council meeting when we were heatedly debating this project, I proposed to name it the Dick McComb Park. Councilman Hall said, "How about Dick McComb City Park?" So since our council agrees on everything all the time, I said, "Sure, let's do that." I know how proud he would be to know that his name is connected to a place where our future generations come to play and grow. Henceforth, this park will be known as Dick McComb City Park. Before we unveil the plaque over to my right, please welcome one of Mr. McComb's daughters. I'd like to have Edie come up. He had 3 girls and 1 boy, so of a large family. He never did anything small. I'd like to have Edie come up and say a few words. Edie? Thanks very much. much for being here.
Well, I'm not one to give a whole lot of good speeches, even though I sang in many choirs throughout my life. But I did some research on my dad because I found some things that I wanted to share. But first and foremost, we want to say, the McComb family wants to say thank you to the Surprise City Council, all the employees and the residents of Surprise for honoring our father with the dedication of McComb City Park, and for all of those who played a role. The outpouring of support and determination with this endeavor has been emotional and very sometimes overwhelming. But let me tell you exactly who Dick McComb is. You all know everything he's accomplished working with the city, but what you didn't know is he was born in 1934 in London, Ontario, Canada. And I found an article he wrote when he retired from the city of Surprise that he vividly remembers the very first time he ever worked in his lifetime. Japan had just bombed Pearl Harbor, and the not quite 7-year-old Canadian boy, shod in ill-fitting shoes, ran door to door through the streets of London, Ontario, selling the special edition published by his father. It brought a whopping 5 cents back then. He spent the next 2 days, including his birthday, in bed, unable to walk in his blistered feet. And I quote, "Since I was 13, there's not been a day in my life I didn't have a job." So after high school, he enlisted in the United States Marine Corps. Hoorah! All right. When he was 17 years old. After his enlistment was done, he enrolled in the University of Denver and received his Bachelor of Science degree in Business Administration. Prior to that, he was in public relations. From 63 to 66, he was a general manager of Livermore Herald News in Livermore, California. 69 to 72, he was assistant to the publisher of the Delta County Independent newspaper. 73 to 79, he was executive director of Pueblo West Builders Association. 75, 79, he was a real estate broker and a bar owner. From 80 to 82, he was from 80 to 82, district manager of Pueblo West. At that time, they didn't have city managers. From 82 to 86, city manager Tanahila Benton. 86 to 88, city manager Velma Raj. 88 to 90, manager of Coolidge, and then city of Surprise. That's not all. He was an entrepreneur and always looking for his next adventure. He once owned an ambulance company where he met and married the love of his life, Darla McComb. She didn't like him at first. He knew how to fly a puddle jumper plane. I heard stories that us kids all got sick in that plane. He was a bar owner, rodeo clown. He owned a horseman's arena where he put on rodeos, and he owned a racing horse. His daughter, Betty, was one of the youngest pro rodeo barrel racers at that time. He was a record producer and a photographer. His daughter, Dottie, was often seen in commercials drinking milk, that little mustache. He was a beauty pageant founder, where I was in that pageant. I didn't win. He was a constable, a volunteer firefighter. He was a newspaper reporter, where he covered the great Alaskan earthquake of 1964. He ain't done yet. He loved to travel and visited many European countries. His most memorable trip was to Ireland, where he kissed the Blarney Stone. Apparently, our family has some connection to that. He went to Costa Rica, where he really wanted to retire, but the streets weren't paved. He loved to go to New York on New Year's and watch the ball drop, catch a Yankee game, and go to the Broadway Theater. He loved to play golf and keep his yard looking the best in Kingswood Park. He enjoyed playing cards with his friends at Sun Village, and he loved putting on the spring fling for Kingswood Park, which still to this day they do every year. He enjoyed his life to the fullest, and he never stopped. He was a loving, devoted husband, loving grandfather, great-grandfather, a mentor, a leader, and loved by many. He married the love of his life in 1964, and until his wife Darla passed away in 2011. He's got 4 kids, 13 grandchildren, 17 great-grandchildren. That's who Dick McComb is, and that's who I want you to know who you're honoring this park to today. Thank you, everybody, so much for your love and support.